In a quiet middle school tucked inside a small American town, the day had started like any other. The walls were covered with colorful posters, a few motivational quotes, and the faint smell of dry erase markers filled the air. The students in Mrs. Jensen's class were restless, tapping their pencils and whispering about weekend plans. They were used to pop quizzes, math drills, and essays, but that Friday felt different. Mrs. Jensen walked into the room holding a small brown box in her hands, her expression calm but full of intent. Without saying a word, she began placing a white envelope on every student's desk. Confusion spread across the room like ripples in water. Some kids exchanged puzzled looks, others giggled nervously. When everyone had received an envelope, Mrs. Jensen leaned against her desk and said softly, "You all have something special in front of you." The class fell silent. She told them to open it. Each student slowly tore the flap and peeked inside. Their eyes widened as they found a crisp $20 bill and a handwritten note that said, "Use this to make someone's day better." No rules. Just kindness. The room erupted with chatter. Wait, is this real money? Do we have to give it back? What do we even do with it? Mrs. Jensen smiled. You can't keep it for yourself, she explained. You have to spend it on someone else. That's the challenge. Show me how powerful a small act of kindness can be. A boy in the back, Mason, stared quietly at the bill. He wasn't the loud type. He lived with his mom, who worked 2 jobs, and $20 was something they didn't see often. He wondered if he could really give it away. Still, there was something about his teacher's faith in him that made him want to try. As the bell rang, Mrs. Jensen told them, "Next Friday, we'll share what happened. I can't wait to hear your stories." The students left with laughter and curiosity, but Mason left deep in thought, clutching the envelope like it was a secret mission that only he could complete. That night, he lay awake thinking about all the ways $20 could help someone. He didn't know it yet, but this simple challenge was about to change more lives than anyone in that classroom could imagine. The following week unfolded in quiet, unexpected ways. Mrs. Jensen didn't mention the challenge, she simply watched. One morning, she noticed Emma, a cheerful girl who loved animals, walking into class with mud on her shoes and a tired smile. When asked, Emma shyly admitted that she had used her $20 to buy dog food for the town's small animal shelter. She'd spent her weekend cleaning cages and walking abandoned dogs. The smile on her face as she told it was brighter than any grade she had ever earned. Another student, Harper, a quiet and artistic girl, confessed that she had gone to the hospital and bought a bunch of bright yellow flowers with her $20. She gave them to the nurses at the emergency ward, saying thank you for helping people every day. One of them cried, Harper said, her voice trembling a little. She said no one ever thanks them. Even the class troublemaker, Jake, surprised everyone. He had bought lunch for an elderly man sitting alone at a diner. He told me his wife died last year, Jake said quietly. He said no one had talked to him in weeks. The class went silent. For the first time, these kids were realizing that kindness had faces and names, that generosity wasn't about money but about attention and care. Mason, still quiet, finally raised his hand. His story was simple but powerful. He had seen a homeless man sitting near the bus stop every morning, holding a sign that said hungry but hopeful. Mason had bought him a sandwich, a bottle of water, and a pair of socks. The man had smiled and told Mason, "You remind me of my grandson." Mason paused when telling it, his voice cracking slightly. He hugged me. No one ever hugged me like that before. Mrs. Jensen's eyes shimmered with tears. She realized her little experiment had done something profound, it had made empathy real. It wasn't an assignment anymore, it was a shared awakening. Without anyone realizing it, one of the students had recorded parts of that discussion on their phone. Later that day, she posted it online with the caption, "Our teacher gave us $20 to spread kindness." This is what happened. No one expected what came next. Within just a few days, the video exploded. It began as a small post shared among friends, then spread across towns, then states, then continents. People everywhere were moved by the children's stories, their sincerity, their innocence, the simplicity of what they had done. The video was reposted on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, gathering millions of views overnight. Comments flooded in from all corners of the world. Teachers wrote, "I'm doing this in my class next week." Parents said, "This restored my faith in humanity." A few celebrities even joined in, tagging it as the $20 Kindness Challenge. News outlets began calling the school, requesting interviews. When reporters arrived, Mrs. Jensen stood humbly in front of them, not wearing anything fancy, just her same warm smile. When asked why she started it, she said softly, "Because kindness is something you can't just teach in a book. You have to feel it. You have to live it." Her words resonated everywhere. That night, she appeared on national television, sitting beside two of her students, Emma and Mason. When Mason was asked what he learned, he said, "That one small thing can change everything." Emma added, "Kindness doesn't stop. It keeps moving." Back in the classroom, her students watched the interview live on a projector. Some were crying, others cheering. On the classroom wall behind them, dozens of handwritten thank you notes were taped up. Letters from strangers across the country who had started their own kindness projects because of them. Mrs. Jensen walked in quietly, seeing all the notes. She smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. The challenge she had started with only a few $20 bills had turned into a global movement. Mason looked at her and said softly, "You changed the world, Mrs. Jensen." She shook her head and replied, "No, you did." The room filled with warmth, laughter, and the kind of silence that follows something pure and unforgettable. In 2025, when the world was often divided by screens and noise, a simple act of trust and love had reminded everyone of the oldest truth in the world, that kindness, no matter how small, never dies.